Okay, so here's us kind of using place for the first time in a real life scenario. Um, so I have us sitting on the ground, which is kind of like a big trigger, if you will, for Hank. It's an invitation in his mind to come maul us. So I went ahead and put out this place, and I asked him to go to place when we sat down, and I am not repeating it. If he wanders off, I just wait for him to get back on his own. If he wandered off long enough, I probably would re-invite him to the place work. But right now, I'm just ignoring him. Once he gets on and lays down, I throw treats at him. So he learns while I'm here, I get cookies. If I get off and do other things, nothing good's gonna happen. I might as well sit here and get cookies. He did really well for this being his first time, and we're kind of like sitting and laughing, being a little bit loud. And he did great. I made sure to give cookies pretty quickly. So we haven't really worked on that duration yet in between treats, but he did really, really well. Here's us just kind of working on a little bit of play. We haven't done it in a little while. So I like to sit down and play with him every once in a while. First of all, for fun and, engagement with each other. But this time I kind of threw in a few behaviors just to see what he would do. So I asked for a sit. Then I marked it with the word nice. That's just the one I use when I give toys. It's not super important to have a marker word for toys like we do for treats, unless further down the line you want him to work for toys. But I just want to see what he'd do, and he did great. He responded to my cues, and then when I rewarded him with the toy, he seemed to like it. Here he goes and messes with Coach, which is a no-no. But we recalled, and we got a toy for it. He did really good. I was surprised how quickly he would respond, even though he knew I didn't have food. And he did great. So that's fun to know. And we'll probably do a little bit more with that, just for fun. Get his mind working. It's always nice to have different reinforcers. Okay, so here we are working on place, and we're adding our verbal cue. So the puppy with a really great bed left, and mine has not come in on Amazon. So we're using this little mini outdoor trampoline. It actually works really great. It's plenty big, and they all love it. They sleep on it outside anyway, so we're just gonna use it for place. So you'll see that I'm kind of doing the same thing. The only thing new is I'm adding the cue. So I'm making sure to add the cue when he's already about to get on place. That way we're just associating the word with the behavior that he already knows.
What are you doing?
So when he comes back, he's looking for a treat or something. When he comes back, I'll say it when he's getting on the place. So he did great. Since he was doing so well, I decided to add a little bit of duration. So Boom is behind me in a kennel also working on something. So I'm treating him. But I'm using those turnarounds and times to treat Boom or time just to look away. I'm using those as a little bit of duration work. So asking for Hank to hold place while I turn around is a pretty big step. And he makes it look super easy, but it's really, he did really great. I'm also going to throw in another behavior from me because he's doing so good. I'm going to sit down. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it looks completely different to them. And you can see he popped up the first time. And I'm just waiting for him to figure it out.
Yes.
And he did. What a good boy. So I gave him some treats for that one. And since we're going to be using it possibly at work, as he gets older, maybe restaurants, things like that, us sitting down while he's on place is going to be a big one. He caught on pretty quick, so I sat back down and he didn't pop up again. So that was good. But it's nice to make it look different, make it a little bit more challenging for him to really think it through, and he did really well. The hard thing is tossing the treats. So here I'm tossing some treats and they keep popping off, probably because it is a trampoline. But he would go get them and then get back on without me asking, which is also amazing. So we'll take that as a win too. Okay, so here's just another round of us doing some settling work. Same as usual. So I have his place out at this point, and I did invite him on his place, but I didn't use his cue. So I just kind of pointed, lured him on there, and gave him the bone. He chose to take it off, which is completely fine. The thing with settling is a place or a bed that he's used to using is going to be a great tool because it gives him a spot that he can make the right choice. But in these times where I just want him to settle, it's not required. As long as he's relaxing, he's fine. If he got out of hand, I might ask him for that behavior. But as of now, I'm just letting him chew and relax wherever he wants. He just needs to learn to self-soothe and self-settle, and this is what we're helping him with.
Yeah.
This is a really short little clip. We're just getting ready to go on a walk,
Yes,
and
good job.
we're practicing polite manners at the door.
Very
And
good.
he did so well. I thought I'd throw it in here because I'm so proud of him. I'm not even asking him to wait. He's just doing a good job on his own. I really like to use the door opening as its own cue. Asking a dog to wait every time a door gets tiring. So I just kind of like that fact that when I open it, just automatically wait until released is kind of my go-to. You could always use a wait cue though. Also, it doesn't affect anything. It's just easier for me not to. But he does really well. So here we are outside, just working on some of those turnaround cues that we have already done. The let's go. It's always just nice to have, and we don't have a lot of outside time today, so we decided to steal what we could and just do a little bit of these leash walking behaviors.
Let's go. Yes.
Good job. Find it. Good job. Okay, so here's Hank playing with one of our puppy school
Nice. Good
dogs.
job.
And you can see he gets over the top really quickly. So I am recalling him off. And he does really well each time. He comes, he takes a toy, and he continues to play with it. So I'm able to redirect him, and he's able to stay redirected. Even when the puppy itself is being super rude. He does eventually drop it and go into too rough of a play again. So I'm trying to get his attention. It's not working as well, so I get the toy and I use that in front of his face just to lure him away. He again takes it and does really well, but the other dog was too persistent, so I called it. We were done. It wasn't working out. But after that play session, I thought would be a really good time to work on some place work and settling work. So I don't have him on his leash this time, and I'm not like reading a book or doing something else. So I'm setting this up halfway in between us working on place by my kitchen table and us doing some settle work. So I do have treats this time, and I have the place. I asked him to go to the place, and I'm treating him for being there. I am trying to put a lot more time in between my treating, and he did really well.